It's officially the offseason, and we have a lot to talk about. So let's get started on an all-new live edition of Locked On Yankees.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. He is Brian McKeon. We're lifelong Yankee fans. We've been hosting this show together for 2 seasons. And Brian, it's the first Monday of the official offseason. How are you feeling?
I'm excited for next season to start.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. After a day of World Series hangover, you think about, man, I want spring training to start because the winter just seems so long. Today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. So on today's show, a lot of guys opting out, options being declined, and other good stuff. So we're going to talk about that in segment 3. In segment 2, we're going to talk about our feelings regarding the World Series and what happened because we didn't get to do that yet. So that should be interesting because, wow, what a weekend in Toronto. So we have a lot to talk about. But first, we have some Yankees news and notes to discuss. Nothing too crazy, nothing too major. But let's see. We got some good news. Max Fried won the Gold Glove Award for AL pitcher, and he beat out former Yankee Luis Severino and Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, didn't realize that Luis Severino had become that good of a fielder. I don't remember him necessarily for his fielding prowess with the Yankees. But yeah, good accomplishment for Max Fried in his first year as a Yankee. He's going to finish top 3 in Cy Young voting too, probably, with 19 wins and a really good year that he had there too. So yeah, got to be proud of Max Fried for the year that he put up. He fulfilled every bit of that contract they gave him last offseason.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by everything that Max Fried did for the Yankees. He was amazing until the blister bothered him in the middle of the summer. But up until then, that was not at all what I expected or anyone expected out of Max Fried.
He even recovered very nicely from the blister midseason, finished out the year really strong. And, wasn't great in his last start of the postseason, but overall, you have to be happy with what Max Fried gave you this year, especially with the news of losing Garrett Cole early on in the year. What he gave them was everything they could have possibly asked for.
Speaking of Garrett Cole, he put up a video on Halloween of himself throwing off the mound in the Yankee Stadium bullpen. He wasn't throwing 100 miles an hour, but, the pitches look crisp. They may not have been 100 miles an hour, but he was looking pretty good. He still won't be ready for opening day, but it's good to see him progressing as quickly as he is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just seeing him throw off a mound has got to give you a positive sign going into next year, right? That his offseason is starting off in a good spot with his rehab. It's not like he's not throwing yet. So, and it's in a pitching motion too. He's not doing a soft toss or anything like that. So he is actually pitching. The velocity will come. They said that he won't be ready for opening day, but you got to think it's going to be only like a month or a month and a half until he's back. He's not going to miss a lot of time.
Yeah, so that'll be good. In some not so surprising news, here are your AL MVP finalists: Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh. Is that José Ramírez? I can't even see. Okay,
yes.
Good.
And that's the order that the graphic is in of how it should end too.
That's exactly how it should end. Oops, will it? Who knows? But that, when I looked at that, I was like, I know
it's going to be a huge bit of discussion.
Order.
And I will say, it's going to be a massive amount of discussion. I can't see at this point it not being judged just when you look at the overall body of work, but
you never know.
We'll see. Yeah.
You never know because the players voted on the outstanding players for the year, and Kyle Schwarber beat out Shohei Ohtani and Cal Raleigh beat out Aaron Judge. But, players aren't always so smart. So we'll see what happens.
Those feel like stats that were awarded because of home run prowess. Like Kyle Schwarber had a great year with his home runs.
Right.
And Raleigh did too. So also, I think players get player fatigue too. That's the only reason Judge won't win is the voter fatigue.
Right. I think
which isn't really fair, but
So I mentioned that a bunch of people opted out. We'll talk about all of the guys because it just kept coming in. I was doing the rundown earlier and I had maybe 3 guys listed, and then I kept going to MLB trade rumors page, and it kept updating and updating. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Because I think Wednesday's the day that everyone needs to do it by, but it's all coming out.
It's got to be 5 days from the last game, yeah.
So for the Yankees, Cody Bellinger opted out of his $25 million player option. He is a free agent. We all knew this was going to happen. This is not a surprising thing.
Yeah, I do laugh when you see the online, when this gets posted online and some Yankee fan will comment and take it as a slight or a disrespect towards the Yankees or how this is just the business of it. It has nothing to do with whether or not he'll re-sign with the Yankees.
Exactly. The other guys who are free agents for the Yankees, Paul Blackburn, Paul Goldschmidt, Trent Grisham, Ahmed Rosario, Austin Slater, Luke Weaver, Devin Williams. Out of those guys, I feel like the Yankees are going to bring back Ahmed Rosario.
I don't think it's a terrible move. Like, they seem to like him. He was a good veteran presence from what you've heard around the clubhouse. And he's a nice infield utility kind of guy. So the only thing is, what is their plan with Caballero? Because you don't need to have too many of those guys on your roster.
Right.
But
out of those two, I would prefer Caballero because he brings more to the table, where Rosario's good against pitchers who pitch from one side. Caballero can get on base and run around the bases. And
it depends on what the deal is, though. Like, right, like you can't bring in Rosario for $7 million if it's for him to just hit. It's for him just to hit lefties.
Lefties, right?
You know what I mean? As a part-time role, by the way. Like, it doesn't make any sense financially, but I do feel like he could get a starting job on a poor team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he came from Washington, but would Oakland or I guess Vegas or Sacramento, whatever you want to call them, would they bring him in? Probably. Would the White Sox bring him in? Probably, and offer him a starting role for an opportunity to kind of play well, get traded in July to a competitor? He might prefer that over what the Yankees could offer him. So we'll see.
I didn't see this yet. I will confess I haven't looked at MLB trade rumors in about 2 hours. So the Yankees can exercise options on Tim Hill and Jonathan Loaisiga. I would think that they would exercise the option on Tim Hill over Jonathan Loaisiga.
So yeah, Tim Hill's option is for $3 million for next year. There's no way they're not going to pick that up. $3 million for Tim Hill would make, I mean, that would be stupid to not do, especially with what they did last offseason, kind of going the distance. It was kind of determined both sides wanted to meet an agreement last year. Remember, they went pretty lengthy into the offseason trying to figure something out. And it was pretty much established Tim Hill wanted to return, but they were trying to find the right value. $3 million is less than what he got paid last year. So I think there's no doubt the Yankees are going to pick that option up. Jonathan Loaisiga is for $5 million.
Yeah.
For what they gave him, for what he gave them actually during the season, there's no way they're going to pay him $5 million to come back.
No.
There was a report that I read online that they'd be willing to enter negotiations at a much lower cost for Loaisiga.
Yeah.
If Loaisiga's willing to come back for $900,000 for the veteran minimum, I think they probably do it just to see what's left in his arm.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they've always loved the stuff, but he just can't stay on the field.
He's so snake bitten by injuries. It's unbelievable. I feel so bad for him.
Would you bring him back if it's for like 1.2 million?
If it's a lower deal, yeah, I would.
Yeah, I would, because I think the talent's there.
Yeah.
So if you're taking a gamble that he stays healthy, but anything more than $1.5 million, I don't think you could touch it, honestly.
Yeah. And then there were reports that the Yankees did not renew the contract of Donnie Roland, who had served as the director of international scouting since 2010. So that's an interesting move. He was with the Yankees from 95 to 99. Then he was with them again starting in 2007. So he was their longest tenured scout. So during that more than a decade as the director of international scouting, he was involved in signings such as Luis Severino, Jorge Mateo, David Garcia, Agustin Ramírez, Jason Dominguez, and many other guys.
Yeah, you always wonder what goes into these kind of decisions that are, behind glass doors and you don't really, know what goes into it. He could have wanted to retire. They could have wanted to go in a different direction. You really don't know what these kind of decisions. So, yeah, but a long tenured guy changing to not exactly the changes that we want to see organizationally, but they're making changes. You can't accuse them of not doing that.
If you didn't watch our Fan Mail Friday episode, our first question from Insider Betty was, lamenting the whole every other, so many other teams are changing managers and our team isn't doing anything. And yeah, we knew that was not going to be a thing.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, yes. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the aforementioned Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. For the listeners of our show, the link is in our description, or at least it should be. It will be when I get the description up. If you're watching live, the QR code is right there for you to sign up. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to any trades and signings that are made. You get top priority on Fan Mail Friday. We send you lineups during the season, roster moves, and any breaking news, so you don't have to check social media. There's also a private Discord where you can commiserate during games. There's a 14-day free trial. So coming up next, we're going to discuss our thoughts about the World Series because, wow, what a final 2 games between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. So we'll do that all next.
The NBA is back, and there's no better place to get in on the action than with FanDuel. It's the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you miss the start of the game or want to ride the hot hand, FanDuel has live bets available on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay for a shot at a bigger payout. I love going through the NBA landscape every single day, seeing where I can get involved live throughout the games. I love getting involved in the Knicks because they're always susceptible to that live comeback. They did it a lot last year, and I'm looking forward to more of it this year. It keeps every game exciting, and especially when your team's making that late push, nothing's really better. Right now, FanDuel is giving new customers $300 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So head over to FanDuel.com to sign up and play your game with FanDuel. It's the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
Every Friday, we answer your questions. And now we're opening it up to comments as well. If you're not part of the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club, this is what you do. You go to our channels page. You click on the post tab. You'll see the latest post where I tell you to leave your questions and comments. You can ask us about the Yankees. You can ask us about baseball in general. You can leave us comments about the show. The deadline for this week is Thursday, November 6th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because we're now in Standard Time.
Yes. Interesting. I love that. Stacey, the World Series.
Aren't you lucky? Aren't you lucky that the Blue Jays can't run the bases to save their lives?
Yeah, I hedged my bet because we got to a game 7, so I wasn't going to lose the money that I had down. But still, I won more money because of the Dodgers. Thank you, LA. Are you a better person than me?
What do you mean?
That's a serious question. Do you think that you have a bigger heart than me? Because I have zero problem publicly saying, "Suck it," to the Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, me either.
This is what happens when you keep chanting Yankees lose and focusing more on the Yankees after you beat them, after you clinch the pennant and the Yankees have nothing to do with it. This is what you get. I don't care how miserable it is. There's a slight bit of misfortune that I feel for you guys because you're also Maple Leafs fans and that kind of stinks as well. But too damn bad. I don't feel that bad. I don't. Sorry. I know it's heartbreaking and I don't know how I would deal with it if I was a Blue Jays fan, but sorry. Sucks to suck.
Here, let's do this. Hold on. I'll show you. I just sent something to my phone. Why isn't it working? Oh, I know why. Because it's a movie. It's not going to work. It's an MOV file. I'll have to fix it. Mm-hmm. The shot of Vlad crying when he was walking. I have it on my phone.
Bad. Don't care. Suck it.
Yeah.
I don't care. Yeah. No, if you want to be jerks after a certain series that was 2 rounds ago and then still talk about it going into the World Series, congrats on the year. Really solid year. They had a really successful year. And, for their sake, glad that Toronto finally got a taste of what a championship series feels like. But
isn't it great? It's funny that Buck Martinez called out the Yankees for not being good, their base running being bad, and then the Blue Jays had 2 of the biggest base running blunders right on national and international TV.
The Barger play is inexcusable.
Woof.
Inexcusable.
I mean, he pointed that out that it was. At least he knows. But, what are you doing, dude?
What was the big base running blunder that you had an issue with in Game 7? Is it the IKF play?
Sort of, but not really, because I've looked at it a few times and, because some people were saying that he should have
had a bigger secondary lead.
should have had a bigger secondary lead. Someone put like an overlay of Mookie Betts at the same point at third base, and where he was. It's just, I think it's funny that it was IKF of all people, because if IKF had scored the winning run in the World Series, I would have been sick to my stomach.
Here's the thing, though. In that situation, I don't think you can have a bigger secondary lead with one out.
Right.
In the threat that a line drive and to Muncy, who catches it and immediately tags up third, you can't end a game like that.
Right. That's true.
You can't. To me, you can't. The risk is not worth the reward. Plus, IKF is their fastest runner. They put him in there to pinch hit for who is it, for Bichette,
to pinch run,
because he's their fastest runner, to pinch run for Bichette. So in my thoughts, if Rojas is gonna make the good diving stop,
right,
double clutch, make the strong enough throw and accurate enough throw to get it there and get your fastest runner out, that's almost like a tip your cap to Rojas play.
Right.
Like you can't really be that angry at that play. That was an amazing play. Rojas is the MVP of Game 7. Yamamoto is obviously the MVP of the series.
Yeah.
What a game Rojas had.
Unbelievable.
And to hit the tying home run plus that fielding play. This game had all, and plus, by the way, Paez, who, like we said, all of the month of September, couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. From September 1st through to November, and then has the biggest fielding play of the season in extra innings there, where he trucks Kike Hernandez but had no option to get the final out. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable game. You couldn't have asked for more in a game.
I would say Barger's was more it was worse. But I also the Bichette base running blunder, although that was partly because the umpire screwed that up.
Yeah.
But there were other little things that they were doing that they wouldn't have done against the Yankees.
Yeah, they weren't, and they weren't as like fundamentally sound as they've been all season.
Right. It was very and I would say that the Blue Jays scored more runs, and I know that Blue Jays fans are saying that they were the better team, but the better team doesn't always win the World Series. Ever.
Is this
almost ever? Look at this
point. The best World Series you could remember in a long time?
Oh yeah, I would say it's one of the best in a while. In the last, I would say since 2011.
If you count this as just a do or die elimination game, I think it's one of the best like sports games.
Oh yeah, and
in my lifetime.
Even if you just condense it to the last 3 innings, because of the stakes, just those. If they just replay those last 3 innings, that would be. I would watch that all the time.
It was so intense. It was so incredible.
Here, in case you're on YouTube and you didn't see this.
Yeah. I mean, you hate to see it.
Yeah. Not really, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he'll be fine falling asleep on his $500 million
But that's what it was, because it was I'll admit this, it was very hard for me, because I didn't want the Dodgers to win, because I didn't want them to repeat. I didn't want them to be the first ones to repeat since the Yankees, whatever. But I had more of a dislike and a distaste towards the Blue Jays because of what was happening with Vlad, and I didn't want Springer to win another ring, and I would rather, out of those two, they're a rival. You don't want another rival winning a World Series ahead of you. You already have that with the Red Sox. So I really, back and forth, it was whenever one of the teams lost, I'd be like, good. But when it came down to game 6 and 7, in my head, I thought to myself, I would love for Toronto to blow this at home and lose in 7 games.
You know what's funny too is I didn't think the Dodgers played the most sound. They weren't. I didn't think they were at their best at all.
Not at all.
And yet they wouldn't lose. There's so much talent on that team. And by the way, the headline after last offseason, after the last year's World Series, was all of the players they went out and got in their bullpen. Right? They went out and got Kirby Yates. They went out and got Tanner Scott. They got every best reliever on the market. And none of those guys affected the series at all.
No.
None of them had anything to do. They didn't use any of all their bullpen pieces were starting pitchers, which, by the way, should be a sign for how teams handle things in the future, by the way. If you're the Yankees next year, bring in Garrett Cole in Game 7 if he pitches Game 6. Do it. Go out and win a World Series no matter what. Because the Dodgers care if Yamamoto's arm hurts a little more today.
Maybe not Garrett Cole, just because he's coming back from
if it's to win a World Series,
surgery.
Do it.
I don't know.
If it's to win a World Series, do it.
But
you have to do do things at every cost imaginable to win, and that's what the Dodgers did. Dave Roberts, for all the crap that he gets in LA, pushed every single correct button in this series.
Here's a question: do you think the runner should have been doing something when Kirk came up to bat for the last at bat? Do you think the
Doing
runner
something in what sense?
like
like going from first to second?
Yeah, like maybe trying to run to get out of the possible double play, or no?
Yeah, that's a tough one because if he gets thrown out there, I mean, you can't make the second out as a base running mistake.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's one of those hindsight things. Like yeah, saying it now, yeah, he of course he's been running, but you can't tell that. It's a worthy argument, but I don't know if it's necessarily a good hindsight.
Was that Barger again?
I don't remember actually.
I don't remember who it was. So here's a stat for you all. The Blue Jays are the first team ever to score more than 100 runs in a postseason and not win the World Series.
Wow, that's a great stat. Jeez. They have a tough offseason coming up, too. There's a lot of guys that are hitting free agency on their roster. A lot of guys. So that's going to be really, really interesting what they do with this, because they just spent a ton of money last offseason with giving to Vlad that massive extension that kicks in this year. So
I will say this. I have to give Dave Roberts kudos for Rojas. Because, I mean, no one expected that to happen, but what a move, and what a move for it to actually pay off the way it did with the tying home run.
It paid off. I mean, talk about immediate dividends. I mean, the tying home run and the fielding play. The fielding play saved the game. So, I mean, that was the game-winning run.
Yeah.
Let's just say, too, I want to point this out. I don't know if you feel the same way exactly, but I have a feeling you do. Can we stop with all the online vitriol and hate over the Dodgers? You're all just jealous.
Yeah,
because what's the hateable element with them? Because they're good. The amount of like X posts and Facebook posts and Instagram posts and radio hits that I saw of, oh, this is bad for baseball.
Well, this is the same kind of stuff they were saying when the Yankees kept winning.
I mean,
it's the same stuff.
So you hate them. Well, first of all, who's the hateable personality on their team? There's no Altuve. There's no Springer. Who is it? Ohtani's very likable. Yamamoto is very likable. Mookie Betts is one of the most likable guys in sports. Who's the hateable guy?
Right, and all the guys, and most of the guys who opened their big mouths after the World Series last year weren't even there. Yeah,
and have nothing to do with this series. So that's strike one against it. So you hate them because they spend a lot of money. They're not spending money other teams can't spend. They're just choosing to spend it,
and they're doing it smartly too.
You hate them because they're involved in every trade deadline. You wish your team would do that. You hate them because they're involved in every free agent. You wish your team would do that. You hate them because they're always looking to get better at every position, no matter what they did the preseason before. You wish your team would do that. Right. So you just hate that. You hate them because their farm system is excellent. You wish your team would do that. You just hate them because they're good, which is stupid. Like to me, like the people who hated the New England Patriots for all those years, totally understood. They had a lot of like guys that were really annoying and Tom Brady no one liked and everything like that. You hate the Warriors because of Draymond? Totally understand. There's reasons. Where? Why is the hatred towards LA? Because they're good? That to me is the conclusion that I've come to. People hate the Dodgers because the Dodgers are good, which to me is not a good reason to hate someone.
At the end of the regular season in 2009, when Yes did their montage, their end of the year montage, they did a medley of Black Eyed Peas songs. And one of the songs, Get Ready for the Showdown, one of the lyrics was, "Go ahead and hate us. It only makes us greater." That's basically the Dodgers.
Yeah. Like I don't hate them. I think they're very hard to hate. People just don't like them because they're good, which is a ridiculous reason. But
yeah, it's the same. Congratulations, Dodgers fans. Welcome to my world 25 years ago as a Yankee fan.
I wish I could have lived it. I wish I could have lived it.
It's the same thing. It was the same
I don't know if it'll be as lengthy as what the Yankees did back then.
We'll see. But I mean,
it's just so much harder to be that consistent. But
well, I mean, I know people keep saying that, but I mean, if any team has a chance to three-peat, it's the Dodgers.
But if Kerkering hits first base from the pitcher's mound, they could have been eliminated by the Phillies and the Díaz.
I know.
You know what I mean? So it's like it's so hard.
It really, we always get on Cashman about the whole crapshoot thing, but it is actually like that in the playoffs.
But I mean, you know what? But the Dodgers, what they did is last point is they loaded themselves up with starters, and we all thought about, oh, this is crazy. How many starters do you need? They had just enough pitching.
Yeah.
Like Sasaki was supposed to be a starter. He didn't start for them in the postseason.
And then you're bringing your starters in relief. You bring Snell in, you bring Glasnow in, you bring Yamamoto in,
But my point is they exhausted every imaginable option to not lose a World Series. The Yankees don't do that. The Yankees get just enough to try and win. And then when one of those things goes down, it screws them.
Right. All right. Well, coming up, we're going to tell you about all of the guys who were opting out, who had options declined, and all that good stuff, because it's starting. Free agency is going to be starting. So we'll talk about all that next.
The NFL season is underway, and there's nothing better than being in the stadium, surrounded by the fans, cheering on your team. But let's be honest, getting tickets could be such a hassle. Between the queues, login screens, and prices jumping at checkout, it can be awfully frustrating. And that's why I use Gametime. It's the app that gives the advantage back to the fans. Gametime is fast, easy, and it's backed by the Gametime guarantee. You'll always get 100% off the night tickets delivered on time and at the best price possible. Plus, all the fees are included. So the price you see is the price you're going to pay. I pull up Gametime in just a few taps, and I see amazing deals. I'm talking about your favorite NFL games for as low as $100. The app makes it super simple. I can even see the exact view from my seat before buying my tickets. I also love the zone deals feature. You pick your section, Gametime will pick your seats, and you always save big. It's honestly faster, cheaper, and less stressful than any other way that I've bought tickets before. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Gametime today. Stacey, the frenzy is starting to begin, and you could start to see different rosters take shape. Now, full disclosure, some of these guys that opt out, a lot of this is just financial and just trying to get more money out of their team, and it's fully expected. But still, crazier stuff has happened before. So let's discuss some of these guys that opted out.
So, Red Sox, let's start with that because that was the first one I saw. Alex Bregman opted out. That's not a shocking thing because people assumed he was going to do that. But Lucas Giolito declined his mutual option with the Red Sox.
Which means that is, I think a lot of people fully expect Bregman to be back with the Red Sox. It wasn't really a shock. The Red Sox were prepared for that. Lucas Giolito is an interesting one because I don't think they were totally prepared for it, and he's looking to get more money. So if they're going to want to, their pitching staff was pretty decent this year. Mm-hmm. So plus I would love to see him gone from the AL East because he screws the Yankees over. So it would not be a problem with me.
Right. From the Mets, Edwin Díaz opted out. So did Pete Alonso. The Pete Alonso thing I wasn't surprised about, but I didn't realize that Edwin Díaz was at that point.
A lot of people didn't. A lot of people didn't. This was only the second year of that massive extension that he signed for $20 million a year.
Yeah.
But it looks like the closer market is going to be a hefty one this offseason. It was Pete Alonso. I'm not surprised at all. You knew this was coming. The Díaz one is interesting because of the next guy you're going to read on who opted out. Díaz opted out because this guy opted out.
Robert Suarez.
Exactly. So they're setting up that closer market to be really heavy. So Suarez or Díaz, whoever signs first, they're both getting raises. I think Suarez last year was at $16 million a year. Díaz is at $20. So which means Díaz is going to get 21 or 22. Suarez is going to look to get 23 or 24. These guys are both looking to get raises for a closer. Yeah. That market has gotten really out of hand, and you could tell the agents know that. So which also means, by the way, Yankees are not bringing Luke Weaver back.
Right.
Because if these guys, I know Luke Weaver didn't finish the year off great, but if these guys are going to be getting this the top starter market is for 23, 24, Stacey, Luke Weaver signing for 12 or 14.
Mm.
Yeah. And I don't think the Yankees are bringing him back for that. And I wonder what this means Devin Williams gets.
Right. I was thinking about Devin Williams as well.
After he had a bad year, but did someone give him like 16, 17 million? The track record's there.
Yeah. Yeah. AJ Minter exercised his player option to return to the Mets. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. did the same thing with the Diamondbacks, so he will stick with them. Randall Grichuk declined his half of the mutual option with the Royals, so he's a free agent. And the Royals declined the mutual option on Michael Lorenzen.
That's an interesting one. That could be one that I see the Yankees going after. Talent is there. I think Matt Blake might see something. Lorenzen was one of the top prospects in all of baseball, and he was one of those guys a few years ago that when he got called up was throwing that one of the first ones to throw one of those 100-mile-an-hour sinkers that are not so popular in baseball. So maybe Matt Blake sees something there, and you saw what he did with the Fernando Cruz sinker. Clearly, that's an expertise of I think Lorenzen would come at a cheaper price than I thought, but maybe the reliever market after seeing the Suarez and the Díaz's opt out. Maybe the reliever market's pretty high, so we'll see. But the Yankees, I could see them being involved in something like that.
Mitch Garver's mutual option with the Mariners was declined, so he's a free agent. And Ha-Sung Kim officially declined his player option with the Braves, and he will be a free agent. Speaking of the Braves, they hired Walt Weiss to be manager. He was their bench coach since 2018, and before that, he managed the Rockies. He's a local guy from Rockland County. He's from Suffern, so every time I hear Walt Weiss's name, I'm like, hey, local boy.
Walt Weiss sounds like an older dude, right?
Yeah, he's only 60. So he's
old for who's been getting hired lately.
True. Actually,
Some
yes.
of these managers that are getting hired are in like their 30s.
That is a good point. A 60-year-old manager is now old compared to
which was young back in the day for baseball managers, because
yeah.
used to have guys.
Although some of those guys when they were 60 looked like they were about 80. Like
Jim Leland.
Yeah, him and Sparky, Tigers manager. Why can't I think of his name? Someone help me in the comments. Why can't I think of his name?
Tigers, Jim Leland.
No, years ago.
Lyle?
No. No. Why can't I think of his name? Help me in the comments.
But Blake Butera with the Nationals, 33 years old, which is insane. So many young guys. Sparky Anderson.
That's it. Why could I not think of that? And I'm picturing him, but he was like one of those guys who at 55 looked like he was about 80.
I think Jim Leland looked worse. How old was he when he was managing the Tigers? Because Jim Leland, I know he managed forever, but Jim Leland looked like he was 160 every time he was managing. Because he'd go through a pack of cigarettes a game.
Also, Sparky Anderson had the white hair, like the really bright white hair.
Yeah, that doesn't do you any
that
justice.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. I don't know why that was not coming to me. It's old age.
And yeah, Jim Leland is only 80 right now.
Yeah. Oh, Jim Mora was interviewed before the Colts game on Sunday. And I think it may have been a local reporter who asked him to do the playoffs. So he did it for him. Jim Mora is 90 years old. The man looks incredible.
Wow. And he did the playoffs good? Like,
yeah, he's like, I'm only doing this for you. Yeah.
That's incredible.
We're trying to win a game here. Playoffs.
Crazy stuff.
I love that.
These manager searches are just wild, though, when you look at this, though.
Yeah.
Kurt Suzuki still is just a name that, it's such an Angels hire. Right? Like, it's such an Angels hire. Blake Butera at 33 is like I don't hate it because you're trying.
Drew Butera.
No, Blake Butera. Derek Shelton was the Twins. Blake Butera is who the Nationals brought in.
Oh, okay.
But 33 years old is young, but like at least I kind of like respect the youth act. Like, you're trying to do something different. Yeah, so I don't hate that one at all. And even the Giants with Tony Vitello bringing in like a college guy, that's not really typical in baseball, but I don't hate that move.
Yeah,
Kurt Suzuki is just the most. It's just the most Angels thing to do.
Do we think anyone's going to hire Pujols?
It looks like no, unless the Orioles. The Orioles brought someone in already.
Yes.
It looks like no at this point. You got to think in the years coming he'll get a job, right?
I would think so.
I love that he wants to still be involved, though. That's got to be pretty cool. I just wonder if anyone's going to bring him in.
Right.
It feels like one of those people who have brought him in for interviews don't like what they hear, because if he was this great of a candidate, he would have got hired by now, right?
Was he the one that was in an interview for 9.5 hours? Who was in the interview? Something came out last week that someone was in an interview for 9.5 hours, and I
didn't hear about that.
Who wants to do
he interviewed
for 9.5 hours? Other than sleep.
Interview with the Orioles.
Other than sleep, there's nothing you want to do for 9.5 hours.
I can think of a few things.
9.5 hours?
Stamina's key, Stacy.
Malachi, cover your ears. No, sleeping. Oh, wait. Did the Padres hire someone? It was that who? So. Was that?
That was who interviewed Pujols.
Is that who?
Yeah, it was the Padres and it was the Padres and the Orioles.
Right.
Maybe that was the 9.5 hour search. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember who posted that. Was it Bob Nightingale? May have posted it, I think, and everyone was like, "That's no." I would not want to have to be on display and talking about anything for 9.5 hours. That would be.
Yeah, it looks their search is still open, the Padres. So we'll see if Pujols gets hired there.
Oh, there was also news that the Rockies were interested in possibly having Adam Ottavino
as an executive, as
head of baseball
operations. I don't hate that. He's a very analytical guy. He really follows the league stuff.
I think they watched his podcast and were like, "Hey, we need this guy." Possibly.
I mean, it wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if that's a great hire just because the Rockies are the Rockies. But I know he loves the franchise. He loved that franchise when he was there. He only left because of the deal the Yankees gave him. So I don't think that's a crazy hire.
Right.
A lot of crazy news going on. I like the youth movement baseball's going towards, though.
Yeah. It's interesting. And more people will probably opt out. So we'll talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
tomorrow.
It's going to be news like crazy.
Yeah.
And later in the week, we're going to have JJ, John Jastrzemski, is going to join us from The Ringer to talk about his Yankees feelings. And we'll close up on some World Series thoughts, too.
Yeah. So as you can see, if you're watching YouTube, I put the ticker up to give you all of the key dates for the next couple of months. The GM meetings, the owner meetings, the winter meetings, the arbitration date, that's January 8th. Just because, all this stuff is happening. Winter meetings, December 8th through 11th. And I believe that might be the last week that we're 5 days a week. And then the next week we go to 3 days a week. So if you're watching us right now, listening to us right now, we will be 5 days a week into December. And then once the winter meetings end, we go down to 3 days a week for the off season. Although, if stuff happens, because we did this last winter, we may do more shows a week.
Yeah, if stuff breaks, we'll be here for you guys. We're not gonna run away from our jobs, but a good break would be nice too.
Yes, because it's a lot covering a baseball team. Even if we're not at the stadium covering them, it's still a lot of work. But we love it because we love this team, no matter how much they drive us crazy, and we love you guys and doing this show for you guys. You guys are we just love how much you appreciate the work we put in. And speaking of the show and everything else, Fan Mail Friday, one last reminder, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, get your questions/comments in. The post is up on the channel's page, so look for it. Insiders, get those questions in. Maybe not today, wait till later in the week when something actually happens, because we may actually talk about what you ask about, and then we won't be able to use your questions. So just keep that in mind when you leave your questions. So thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. For your second listen, we'll say listen to Locked On MLB. Listen to Sully, because he talks about MLB in general. You can find him on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this live edition of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.